You haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Your alarm went off 4 minutes ago, and your brain is already running. Did I reply to that email? What's happening in the news? Do I have enough money this month? You haven't brushed your teeth, you haven't touched the floor, and you are already exhausted. You think that's normal. It's not, and it's not your fault. But the reason it's happening is one of the most disturbing stories in the history of our species. The American Psychological Association surveys this every year. Same question, same result. Americans are the most stressed population of any wealthy nation on Earth. Not slightly more stressed, dramatically. 57% of Americans say they feel paralyzed by stress on a daily basis. In Germany, 38%. The Netherlands, 21%. Same planet, same century, completely different internal experience. And here's what makes this genuinely strange. America is not the poorest country, not the most dangerous, not at war on its own soil. By every traditional measure of what should cause stress, Americans have less to worry about than most humans who have ever lived. And yet, Gallup surveys 150 countries every year. Americans consistently rank among the most stressed, most worried, most angry populations on Earth. Not war zones, not famine regions. Americans, sitting in traffic, stressed out of their minds. So what is actually happening? To understand it, you have to go back. Not to the 1950s, not to the Industrial Revolution, back 100,000 years. Because the brain you're using right now to scroll, to worry, to lie awake at 2 a.m. is the same brain your ancestors used to survive the African savannah. Literally. The hardware hasn't changed, only the world around it has. Your ancient brain was built for a group of about 50 people. That was your entire world. You knew everyone in it. You knew where the danger was. And your threat detector, the part of your brain called the amygdala, scanned for 3 things: predators, social rejection, food scarcity. When none of those were present, your brain let you rest. Cortisol dropped. You sat in the shade and felt fine about it, because nothing was wrong. Now here's what America does to that same brain. You wake up and immediately make contact with thousands of strangers through a screen. Your amygdala, which cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a digital one, registers every piece of negative news as a danger to your survival. A shooting 3 states away, a political crisis, someone online saying something that makes your chest tighten. Your brain doesn't process those as distant events, it processes them as threat detected, threat in the tribe, respond now. Cortisol spikes before you've spoken to a single real human being. Before anything has actually happened to you, your body is already in survival mode for a predator that doesn't exist. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. America doesn't just have a stress problem. America was, in many ways, built to create one. There are 3 reasons. 1. America is the only wealthy nation on Earth with no legally mandated paid vacation. None. And 55% of Americans don't even use the days they do have, because the culture says resting is losing. Hustle, grind, sleep when you're dead. Your brain hears that, and the cortisol tap never closes. Because in a world where stopping means falling behind, your threat detector never gets the signal it's waiting for. You're safe. You can rest now. 2. In 1985, the average American had 3 close friends they could call in a crisis. By 2021, that number dropped to 1. And 12% of Americans, 40 million people, said they had 0 close friends. None. Loneliness activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. It's not a metaphor. Being isolated hurts your brain the same measurable way breaking your arm hurts your body. And America, with its car culture, its suburban sprawl, its 60-hour work weeks, has quietly become one of the loneliest societies in human history. 3. For 99% of human history, you only compared yourself to the 50 people around you. Now you compare yourself to everyone. The richest, the most attractive, the most successful, the most liked. And every time you scroll, your amygdala runs the same calculation. Above or below, safe or at risk, enough or not enough. 300 times a day. The answer your brain keeps getting is not enough. And not enough to a tribal brain means danger. I want to tell you about someone. Let's call her Sarah. She's 31, 1-bedroom apartment, mid-size American city. She has a job. She pays her bills. She is not in danger. And she hasn't slept properly in 3 years. Every night, she lies in the dark and her brain runs. Did I do enough today? Am I falling behind? Is this it? Is this what my life is? She's been to her doctor. She meditates. Sometimes. She downloaded 4 wellness apps. She knows about cortisol. She knows everything she's supposed to know. And every morning, she still wakes up tired, already behind, already bracing. Sarah isn't broken. Sarah isn't weak. Sarah is a 100,000-year-old piece of biological hardware, running inside a system it was never designed for. And the system doesn't tell her that. The system tells her to try harder, do more, be more. And when that doesn't work, try a different app. There are 50 million Sarahs in America right now. Some of them are men. Some of them are teenagers. Some of them are making $200,000 a year and still lying awake wondering if it's enough. Because the salary doesn't fix it, the promotion doesn't fix it. None of those things give the brain the signal it actually needs. You're safe, you belong, you're enough. You can stop now. Here's the part nobody says. Your stress isn't just a side effect. For a lot of very powerful systems, your stress is the product. A stressed person buys more. Cortisol drives impulsive purchasing behavior, and every retail system, every food platform, every entertainment app on Earth is engineered to be your relief for about 11 minutes until the cortisol comes back and you need relief again. The $4.5 trillion wellness industry exists entirely because the system that created your stress also sells you the solution. That is not a coincidence. A scared population is also easier to keep in line. A brain under constant threat is more reactive, more tribal, more likely to see the world as us versus them. And a news cycle that leads every broadcast with the most terrifying story of the day is not doing that by accident. Fear drives clicks. Clicks drive revenue. Revenue drives more fear. And somewhere in the middle of that loop is your amygdala, firing all day, convinced the predator is right outside the door. So, let's come back to you. Lying in bed this morning, before your feet touched the floor, already running, already behind, already bracing for a day that hadn't started yet. That wasn't weakness. That was a 100,000-year-old survival system doing exactly what it was built to do in a world it was never designed for. You are not broken. You are mismatched. And there is a difference. Your ancestors had stress too, real stress, life or death stress. But when the danger passed, it passed. Their bodies got the signal. Cortisol dropped. They sat with people they loved. They rested without guilt, without a phone, without an algorithm telling them they should be doing something else. They rested because they were human, and being human has always required rest. You live in a country that forgot that. That turned busyness into a virtue, and stillness into a character flaw. That built a $4.5 trillion wellness industry to sell you back the rest. It convinced you not to take. The predator your brain is scanning for doesn't exist. The famine isn't coming, but your brain doesn't know that because nobody told it. And the system you live inside needs you not to figure it out. The stress you feel every morning is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It's evidence that something is wrong with the world you were handed. Knowing the difference is the only place anything ever changes.